Yes, indeed. Dream big. Boy, we seem to have a little bit of lack of that these days. A lot of people wanting to dream safe. Hey, Coach Richard here with a 2023 first sort of Facebook slash YouTube slash Instagram recording. Yeah, indeed. You know, the very essence of life is that of going out to achieve great things, to do great things. But so many people restrict, and I hope that's not you, but it probably is, continue to restrict and restrict and restrict those dreams because it's safe to not think in big terms, but just achieve little small things. You know, the greatest regret is people, these studies are done over and over again. Look at the greatest regret always is the thing about the things that people haven't done versus the things that they have done. And it all comes back to the thing of dreaming. You know, the death of dreaming is a real thing, but also the accomplishment, the growth into dreaming and dreaming big is also a big thing. But it also has to start now, because you see, there's code, really. The whole aspect of people say, you know, well, someday I'll do that. Someday I'll get after that. That's really code for no day. Okay. It just is. And the neat part about dreaming big is where you're growing and how you're growing. You see, the end of the day is this, is you have to attack and address life with patient urgency. Seems contradictory, patient urgency, but it's a real thing. Patient urgency is real because what it means is that your journey is not done in a series of one-offs, right? Done, over, finished, right? That immediate gratification. It is a growth. It's a growth into something big. It has everything to do with our physicality, our way of addressing ourselves, right? Physically, mentally, financially. And it has to do with how we address the world around us. But we can only do it based on our level of vigor and vitality and energy and mental acuity. Okay, we can only do it with that, and also with the resources of capital, capital money, and the resources of time. Time is very finite, right? You have 168 hours a week. The most valuable thing that you have is your time. And the question is you going to invest your time or just spend your time, right? Well, if you're thinking big, if you really are dreaming big, if you are looking at the future with great excitement and anticipation, and you're taking daily action, and those 168, and you're not spending it, in other words, giving your time capital over to some, you know, innocuous sort of entertainment nonsense, right? Entertainment's important, but when it becomes the de facto, you know, standard default position of, okay, if I have any spare time, well, when I do take the time that I could be spending on myself, I end up spending it over here on Mr. Netflix or Mr. Game Boy or Mr. you know, hockey game or whatever it is. Then we lose sight of the future. And then patient urgency goes down because what happens is the urgency is always done in bits and pieces of what we'll call a crisis. Yeah, crisis. And when I visit with people, it's interesting because most people will tell me over and over again the things that they don't want, right? I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be broke, right? I don't want to, you know, curtail my vacations, right? I don't want to be, or don't want to have, versus the things of what do you want? Because if you can get into that a little bit, dreaming big, then what happens is your focus becomes that on accomplishment and the things that you really want to have. Now, this isn't new to you. Okay, this has been taught through the ages over and over and over again. But I'll guarantee you this, that if you're not thinking in these terms, that the people that are around you, the people you've surrounded yourself with, that sort of thing is really allowing you to stay in that zone of non-accomplishment, of just pure comfort, even though it feels not right because you're not accomplishing. It feels not right because you're I call it dumb, sick, and broke, okay, or dumb, fat, and broke, or whatever, because at the end of the day, as people will migrate down to their point of comfort. You don't want to be the most comfortable person in the room. You want to be that uncomfortable person. You want to have those people around you that are going and achieving and growing, right? That are making things happen where they are with their family, doing the things, that thing with patient urgency. It might take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years for that big dream to come to fruition. But the point being is it has to start somewhere, and it should be starting right today. 2023, January 1st. Today is the day in which you decide to hit that reset button and say, okay, it's on, I'm going, I'm there. And so how do you do it? Who are the people around you? And don't tell me it's the same people that were with you in 2022 and 2021 and 20. Okay, because if you're exactly where you were in 2020 and this is 2023, chances are you have not surrounded yourself with the right people. Okay, those friends, that family, that stuff, that doesn't mean you don't like them. That doesn't mean you don't love them. The point being is they weren't in a place to be able to help you go from where you were or where you are today to where you want to go. And they're probably acting what they think is in your best interest by making sure that you don't dream too big, that you don't get disappointed, that you don't fail. Because their frame of reference is a point of failure, right? I'm going to absolutely put myself in a place where I really can't fail, but I'm really not going to cheat. Is that you? Really, is that you? I hope not. I hope the heck it's not you, because at the end of the day, you have so much greatness inside you, okay? There's greatness in you, but you tamp it down and you break it down and you do the things and you operate from a standpoint of fear and trepidation, right? Fear of failure will kill more dreams than you can shake a stick at, because it's not the dream, okay? Whatever it is, it's not the dream, it's the nightmare. The fear of failure becomes a nightmare rather than some awesome dream going out to achieve. Greatness isn't achieved overnight. It's a series of actions and activities that take place each and every day. Okay, that's the whole point. So patient urgency is something that you need to adopt inside yourself. There's not immediate gratification in big dreams. Okay, there just isn't. It's a growth process, but it's a thing of where you're on that path with consistency and with vibrancy. And that, my friends, is the start of 2023 for those people who really decide, because it is choice. But that's the wonderful thing about it, is it's only choice. It's not magic. It's just choice. You decide that where you are today and where you're going to be the 365 days from now, and then where you're going to be at the end of 2 years, where you're going to be at the end of 3 years, is all done with a sense of consistent urgency, with excitement and vigor and vitality and basically grit and courage to follow your dream. That's the key. And it's always been the key. There are many lessons that have been taught through the ages, through the millennia, that is the key. And it's there at your fingertips. It really is at your fingertips if you decide that you're worth it. Because that's the start. Because if you're worth it, what you think is a big dream today, you might look at 3 years from now and 4 years, say, well, that was a nice accomplishment, but I'm only getting started. All right, folks, that's it. Happy New Year. All right. Bye-bye.